Tate Mcrae has recently become one of the biggest pop stars out right now, and she turned what could have been a one-hit wonder into a successful career with 56 million monthly listeners on Spotify. She obviously has a great voice, but what really makes her stand out is her production. So in today's video we are going to create 2 beats in the style of Tate Mcrae. When I think about Tate Mcrae's sound, I think of filtered down synths, unique accent melodies, and bouncy hard-hitting drums. I wanted to start the beat with some plucky synths, kind of like the ones you hear in the song It's Okay, I'm Okay. So I started off with a simple preset in Serum called Plucked Bottle, and I just created this very simple melody. I feel like that is a great start, but I really want to make this pluck melody extra spicy, so I bounced that out into an audio clip to chop it up and to reverse some parts. But I still felt like that wasn't enough, so I duplicated that layer. So I pitched it up 1200 cents, that's a whole octave. So now we have a whole layer that's 1 octave above, but I only used a small part of that sample, which I actually reversed to, and I have it in the end of the original loop. So now we got ourselves a nice pluck melody for this beat. The next thing I did is that I added some 808s. So I just chose that very classic 808, the Spins 808. I then laid down a simple pattern with only the root note, except for some variations where I went 1 octave up and also glided through the octave. And as I said in the beginning, Tate Mcrae's songs usually have some kind of synth chord progression, which is, in this case, used to build up through the pre-chorus into the chorus. So I started out with this Yam SS30 String Machine 1977 from Nexus, which sounds like this. I then laid down this very simple chord progression in the same key as the original pluck. But I still felt like that lacked some kind of character, so I actually added a one-shot from Loner that really brought the whole chord progression into a whole other level. And to layer some kind of bass sound under that chord progression, I actually went ahead and added this B-type bass with the filter brought down to 44, and I only played the root note of the chord progression. And to add some extra texture to that synth buildup, I went ahead and added 1 brass synth from Loner as well, which only plays the G-sharp 5 note every time the metronome hits. And I feel like that really adds some kind of tension and texture to the whole synth. So with all of these layers together, it sounds like this. And for the drums in this beat, I kept it very simple with just a trap clap, a kick, and a tom, and a fill. Just to add some more variation in the synth buildup, I actually decided to add this very simple 2-step trap hi-hat. And when making these trap hi-hats, it's very important to mess around with the velocity here just to make sure that it doesn't sound too robotic. Because when you're playing drums in real life as a human, you will never hit that hi-hat the same velocity with the same kind of force every time. So it's very useful to go in here and mess around with the velocity to make sure that not every single note hits the same. And also one tip here is to mess around with the shift knob here. What that does is that it shifts the hi-hats a little bit to the left to make it bounce a little bit more. So with all of these elements, I feel like that beat actually sounds very nice, and you will hear how everything sounds together later on in the video, but for now I want to move on to beat number 2. In that same album from Tate Mcrae, she also has a few songs which draw a lot of inspiration from rap and trap and R&B, with these filtered down melodies that sounds like something Drake would hop on. So I think it would be really cool to try to make something in that kind of vein as well. First thing I did is that I chose a very simple bell from a one-shot kit and laid down this simple chord progression. And to bring more texture and reverb onto that original sound, I layered on another synth key from that same one-shot kit, and it sounds like this. Then I bounced that out onto an audio clip and added some Fruity Stereo Shaper just to bring some more width using this Stereoize 2 preset. I also added one RC20 with the filter knob here brought down to 1365 Hertz, and I brought up the space to 67% just to make it more wide and more spacious. Then I layered another clip with the same kind of chords, but with a totally different sound, to then chop that up and add that onto the quiet parts here, just to add some more texture. The next thing I did to make this sample sound good is that I added a vocal chop loop, which I then brought onto the Edison plugin here. And I believe I blurred it out and then brought that back into the DAW here, the timeline. And it sounds like this. And the final part to this sample is a texture, which is some train tracks, just to add some more room and atmosphere to the whole sample. And that really helps the sample feel a lot more alive when you're listening to it. It's not something that you necessarily realize you have in the song, but it really adds something you cannot put your finger on. For this beat, I didn't want to go with 808s because Tate Mcrae is a pop singer, so I don't want to go too heavy with the 808s. So I actually kept it simple with a simple Reese bass here. So I have that Reese bass in the chorus section, and I actually realized later on that in the verse section I actually want an 808, so that's what I added. So for the drums in this beat, I have some kicks, I have two-step hi-hats, I have trap claps, and I actually have a rim shot that plays kind of an unconventional pattern. And that is basically it for that beat as well. And to make these kind of beats, you don't need to be so super talented, if I may say so. But all you need is to have a great ear and try to make stuff that actually sounds interesting. But I promised you that you would get to hear the beats now, so here they are.